I'd like to share with you just a little basic information on potatoes, sweet potatoes, and yams. There's just a little confusion on the internet. My son was talking to me the other day about all the differences in the potatoes, and I explained what I knew about it. And he turns around and he says, "Mom, you really need to make a video on this." So here it is. I hope you enjoy it. My name is Elise. I'm glad you stopped by. I'm in Zone 9B, very warm. Going to get some rain today though, and we really need it. Now, I'm not going to physically plant any potatoes in this video. That will come later. What I want to share with you is some basics, some similarities, some differences, and help with a little confusion on the internet, especially if you're new to planting potatoes. Even if you aren't going to plant potatoes, still some little interesting tidbits. All right. First, they are all edible tubers that grow underneath the ground. They're all considered survival foods, sustainable foods. You can grow potatoes, sweet potatoes, and yams from tubers that you buy at the grocery store. You get at the farmer's market from your friends you've saved over from last year. If you want to order your potatoes online, you'll get what is called a seed potato, and it will be a little potato. You can also order slips online. You can also order yam online. Or, like I said, just go to your grocery store. If you get them from the grocery store, just wash them off really, really good. Sometimes grocery stores will put retardants on the produce, so it gives them a longer shelf life and they don't sprout out as fast. I made some taxonomy cards to help us a little bit. A sweet potato and a potato are in the same order, but then they split. Different families, different genus, species. A yam is not related at all. It is in the Scoriaceae family, completely different. These three have in common that they're in the great big plant kingdom. So, not related. I think of potatoes and sweet potatoes kind of like third cousin, two times removed, you know, really distant cousin, but in the same order. Now, these potatoes, sweet potatoes and yams, are grown all over the world, anywhere it's warm, and they are used to help with starvation and malnutrition. They're healthy products to eat. So that's some similarities. Let's talk about each one individually and learn a little bit of the differences. Potatoes, 5,000 varieties. So if you ever get a chance, go online and look up all the wild potatoes, all different colors, shapes, and sizes. And there's so much you can do with potatoes besides French fries and mashed potatoes. Really, really wonderful product. And once you get used to eating potatoes without all the fattening additions, they have a wonderful taste, and you'll find out which potato tastes different and which potato lends itself best for what application. Really neat. One thing about potatoes, you never want to eat a green potato. A green potato, the skin turns green when it's exposed to sun. The sun triggers chlorophyll, which is in itself not bad. But the chlorophyll then sets off a chemical reaction, and the potato produces two chemicals that are not very nice for us. And you can get very sick from eating a green potato. Don't throw it away though. You can use that green potato to plant out and grow new potatoes with. Potatoes grow on what is called an eye, and all potatoes, no matter what variety, will have eyes of some type or other to some extent. So all these little divots are eyes, and you can see some growing. Now these are really old potatoes, and look at this one. And I've just been letting that grow because I thought it was so neat. Great big fat eyes. Now they're putting out vegetation. And the potato does grow on a little vegetative plant. And I did have one in here to show you. And like overnight, the whole potato died back. Then the squirrels got into it. And you would think squirrels wouldn't mess with Solanaceae products, but they do. And I started this with just one little bitty red potato. Now, here's the potato, and it's got the pot bulged out. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. So I can't wait to dump this out and see what is in this. This isn't a type of container you really want to use. You need something much, much bigger. But I put that potato in just to grow vegetation to show you what it looks like. So potatoes, do not eat them if they're green. Do not eat the sprouts. Do not eat the vegetation or the stems. It can make you sick. You can eat the skins on potatoes as long as they are not green. If you have a potato that is in still really good condition, it's hard, no blemishes, looks fine, and it has some sprouts, when you wash your potato, just wash it very well and cut those sprouts off, and you can still eat your potato. 5,000 varieties, native to Peru, South America area. They were taken to Europe in about the 16th century by the Spanish explorers, and from there they went all over the world. 3 to 4 months of warm weather. Potatoes don't store a very, very long time, so you want to store them in a nice, cool, darkened area, and they'll last a little bit longer. Definitely keep your stored potatoes out of the sun. Sweet potatoes, and I think we're all familiar with this wonderful orange fleshy potato. A sweet potato is not a potato. Sweet potato is not a yam. Many decades back, the people who distributed sweet potatoes and the grocery store industry decided that they need to give the sweet potato a name that consumers could remember easily, and so they wouldn't get confused with potatoes. I don't know about you, but I think I can tell the difference between a sweet potato and a potato. But that's how that confusion started. And this is basically just in North America. Now there's all kind of common or colloquial names for all of these tubers all over the world. Potato, not a sweet potato is not a potato. Sweet potato is not a yam. Sweet potato is an Ipomea family. It is a morning glory. So you can eat the leaves, the stems, the flowers, the flesh, the skin, the whole 9 yards. It is recommended, though, that you saute or steam the leaves a little bit. I've never eaten them, so I don't know. Now, sweet potatoes grow on what is called slips, which is a vegetative outgrowth from the potato itself. Now, I could actually go ahead and plant this whole potato if I wanted to. It's already sprouting out some slips. Now, if you want a whole bunch of slips, this would kind of be a waste, but it would work, or I could just break those off. Now, these potatoes were just laying in the little hothouse. They had gone bad. I put them out in the hothouse and with intentions of putting them in a container like this and never got to it. And they started sprouting. Look, and including leaves. So I can still use those. Of course, we have the standard sweet potato with the toothpick in the glass to grow out slips. I remember as a child, it seems like we always had a sweet potato on top of the refrigerator. Not to grow out for slips necessarily, but just because it made a pretty vine. Now there are ornamental sweet potato vines. They don't really produce a good edible tuber, but they do produce beautiful vines. This one potato in here has produced just a huge potato vine. Each place that there is a leaf on this vine, it is called a node. At each node you have the opportunity to grow a new plant and sweet potatoes. Now you can cut these off at the nodes, put them in glass and root them out, or you can just go ahead and put these directly into the soil. That is up to you. So sweet potatoes grow on slips, but they are very easy to get your slips. They are native to the tropical Americas. They believe that they were first introduced to Europe by Christopher Columbus's parties. So that's how long they've been around. And here is a young slip that actually broke off from this potato. Squirrel jumped on it. But look at the root system, and it's ready to go. Dozens and dozens and dozens of ways to plant your potato and your sweet potato as far as containers. The only thing you want to pay attention to is that the potatoes are completely covered up so that they are never exposed. Yams, true yams. They are not potatoes. They are not sweet potatoes. And this is a nice size one. It's probably 3 or 4 pounds. I got this at the grocery store. This is a Name yam, N-A-M-E, Discoriaceae family. There are 700-800 varieties of yams. And if I didn't say it, there's 300 or 400 varieties of sweet potatoes, 5,000 varieties of potato. Yam does not have eyes or slips. What you do is you cut the tuber up itself into sections. And here is a yam vine. I had put a little section in a pot last year, and it has just started coming up since we started getting some rain. And I've grown yams for a couple of years now. I am no means an expert. So I have some yams growing in the front, and I have yams growing in the back. Yams can get up to 100 pounds depending upon your variety. The plant itself is called a yam, and the tuber is called a yam. Now this year, at the end of season, when these start dying back, because they will die completely back, so make sure you know where you've planted them, I think I'm going to go ahead and dig them up. And I am going to go ahead and dump this one out too, because I want to see what it looks like. So I will just be cutting this up. Now, there are some ways that you want to cure it and coat it, and we'll go over that more, and I'll share with you how easy and what I did. There are yams that are not edible, so be aware of this. Do your research, especially if you are a forager and you're going to go out and forage plants. Some yams are toxic and can make you sick. Some yams are perfectly edible. Some yams you have to cook, some yams you don't. A big research project on yams. So make sure you know what you're getting before you eat anything. And that holds true with any wild edible. Lots of varieties. And these are mainly from Africa. Africa still grows 93 to 95% of all yams. And they chop them up and they plant them out at the beginning of the rainy season. The vines can get quite aggressive, and in fact, lots of people grow them up trees, but they do die back completely in the winter time. You can leave a yam in as 6 months and harvest it, or you can leave it in for a couple of years, up to you. So this is some basics on yams. So hopefully this has helped to clarify a little bit for you. Sweet potato is not a potato or a yam. A potato grows on eyes that is formed on the potato itself. Sweet potato grows on slips that are formed on the potato itself. Various ways to do it. The yam, you just cut up into sections and cure it a little bit. Put some fungicide or anything like that on it if you wish. And like I said, we'll go over that more. And you plant that out. Neat, huh? Fun project. It really is. It's a great project for kids, especially the sweet potatoes. The yams are a little more benign, other than the fact that they do make beautiful vines that can grow up 20, 30 feet tall. Now, I have had sweet potato vines get 15, 20 feet long and just sprawl all over the ground, and then they did eventually die back. So that's it. We'll come back and we'll visit potatoes, sweet potatoes, and yams again. Until then, have a fantastic day.